Hello, today we are going to discuss about ADF. So let me start with what is ADF. ADF is Application Development Framework. Development Framework. So why this is used? So with ADF we can implement an end-to-end secure high-performance application in quick time with the help of several built-in components. uh, which the built-in components are specially created in core Java and XML components. So it is a you can say it is a ready-made framework which is very easily used to develop web applications and which can be used to deliver the business requirements. So and again, ADF is not a freeware. The client should have WebLogic server license to deploy the ADF application on it. So how this ADF came into picture? What is the history behind ADF? First of all, Oracle developed a framework which is OF. Mm, but OF is only supported to Oracle EBS users. OF stands for Oracle Application Framework. And this was but OF has a lot of performance issues also. So and it has also limited features. As I told you, it is not extended to other applications. It is only restricted to Oracle EBS. So later on they developed, Oracle came up with the ADF technology. ADF was developed to resolve the issues in OF. Oracle implemented a framework called ADF 10G. ADF 10G is the first framework which is developed. So in ADF 10G, what is there? ADF 10G include a Java code instead of ADF BC to form a business layer. ADF 10G contains ADF task flows to support the GUI based navigations. Still, ADF 10G have lot of performance issues because of lot of Java code needs. So they came up with ADF 11G, which is the latest working ADF platform on which the applications are developed. So for better result, you need to download JDeveloper from the Oracle site. The JDeveloper version which should be useful for you is 11.1.1.1. This from this version onwards, any version you can use. We will be using the 0.6 version, and the latest which has been launched is the ADF 12C. This is the latest ADF version which is there currently in place by Oracle. So what is this G? This G stands for grid and this C stands for cloud. So now ADF has completely moved to the cloud as Oracle is more interested for the cloud technology. So the ADF 12C will be deployed completely in the cloud fusion middleware. So we can you can explore more on this. First we will discuss what are the components of ADF. So for the components of ADF, ADF generally uses MVC architecture. So what is MVC architecture? It is the model view control architecture. So MVC is nothing, is just a method to use to develop some application. So MVC is the best design pattern that can be used, and this is used in ADF. So we will discuss in detail what is a MVC platform. So as I told you, MVC has model layer and view control layer. Model means it will have the business components or business rules, you can say, and the view control will have the GUI, the navigations between GUI, how in ADF these components are defined using what tools. So in ADF the business rules are defined in the model project, which is the which carries the business rules. So we'll discuss what are the components in the model project. There is EO, which is entity object. There is view object, and also there is application module A. View object has another two types. First one is updatable view, and the second one is read only view. So now let's discuss each component, and then we have the navigations, the view control part. What all things are here? Here you will get the pages, task flows, these are the things which you will get in view controller. So let's discuss what is entity object. Entity object is the relationship, direct relationship which is there between the database table. So entity object is created on top of a single table, view or synonym to support the updatable view object to perform all the CORD operations. So it is created on the table or view or the synonym to perform CORD operations. CORD operation means the create, update, read, update and delete. Those are the CORD operations. So then we'll come to what is the view object. Let me tell you something more about entity object. Entity object is an object, as I told you, which is created on database table or a view. It contains attributes, and each attribute is a column of the table. So one of the attribute in the entity object should be a key attribute. The key attribute is an attribute which is created on the primary key of column. So if the table has no primary key, so then also a key attribute is created, but that will be the row ID which will be created automatically, and it will be treated as a key attribute. All the column constraints will be appear as built-in business rules in the EO business rules section. According to business requirement, we can create our own business rules also. EO has a one Java class which is EOIMPL Java class. This is the implementation class of EO. This EOIMPL Java class represents a single row at a particular point of time. The purpose of EO is to perform all the CORD operations, as I already told you, with the help of entity based views. So on top of EO you will create the view. So EO was like behind the screen, as we cannot able to configure directly in the application module. So EO is your table, view is your query, and the application module will be the container where the operations will take place. Now let's discuss about view. What is a view? So as I already told you, view is the query which is written on top of EO. So EO will be having the tables and view will be having the queries which will be executed. So view, as I told you, there is updatable view and read only view. So what is updatable view? Updatable view is a query which is represents a row set. UVO are created on one or more than entity objects, and these are created with the help of SQL joins. with the help of VO we can perform all the code operations. Each VO contains VO IMPL Java class. Like EO contains EO IMPL Java class. Similarly, VO contains VO IMPL Java class. We'll see these things later on. This UVO, I am talking about updatable view object, contains attributes, and these attributes are created from EO. So UVO is a query on top of entity object. So I have told you about this UVO. Now let's discuss what is RVO. What is read only view object only. See, UVO, you are creating the query on the top of entity objects. That means you are directly accessing the database table through entity object, and you are performing some DML operations. Then you will use UVO. But suppose you have to only read the data, then you will use read only view object. RVO is a query created on one or more database tables directly with the help of SQL joins. No need of entity objects is required here. We cannot perform any DML operations with RVO. As I told you, no DML operations. It is only for retrieving the records. If you want to see the record or you want to use the records in some LOV kind of thing, then you can use read only VO. Each VO contains the built-in operations to support the declarative development. Some of the built-in operations are like create, first, last, next, previous, delete, etc. We'll discuss about these built-in operations later on. So next we will discuss what is application module, which is AM. Application module. Application module, as I already told you, this is the container where the VO queries will actually be executed. So VO instances are directly read in this application module. The VO instances actually represent the data, and AIM provides the browser to test all the configured VO instances in the data module section. AIM provides transaction context for all its configured updatable VO instances. Each AIM contains an AIM data control created under data control section. AIM contains the data control section. So using this data control section, we will be mainly designing the ADF application. So guys, let's go into the JDeveloper and see how actually these components look like in the JDeveloper section. So let's open JDeveloper. This is the JDeveloper. Always choose the default role. Let it open. Here I am using, as you can see, 11.1.1.6.0 version. Let it open up completely. Let me close all the open applications which I was working on. So now let's go and create a new application. File, new. We'll be creating an ADF application. Choose ADF. This is the application name. You can see, give the application name as first application, first demo application. This is the directory where the application will be created. your own local directory. Next, as I told you, there are two things which are created, two projects. One is the model project, just keep the default things, no need to change these things. And the second one is the view controller project. See, this is the model project and view controller project. So two projects are created inside one ADF application. Now finish. So this is a completely new project which is getting created. This is a model project and this is a view controller project. Under model project, I told you there are few components like EO, UVO, RVO, application module. But as you can see, the model project is currently empty. So let's create the business components in model project. So right click on the model project, click on new, click on business components, ADF business components from table, because we will be creating the entity objects, so that's why we are creating business components from table. Here you have to create a database connection. I am using standard Oracle database connection. Test the connection. It is a success, so it should be connected. Okay. It is connected. Let's give the EO object package name as model.eo. Let's take a simple table, employee table. Let's take a department table also. Okay. Now let's create a updatable view for both these entity objects. Let's create a read-only view for only the location table I will create. Next, the last one is application module. I will give the project name as AM. Finish. Let the business components be created, and now we can discuss in detail whatever we have discussed. Now we can see it in practically. So you can see inside the model project there are the components which I have already told you: the entity object, read-only view object, UVO, and application module. So in application module, you can, it is a container as I told you. You can check how it is running. This is the data model of the application module. Here you can see many things are already created. These are the relationship between the tables which are already created: department employee relationship, employee department, and again employee relationship. The location has no relationship with these things. So let's simply keep a department employee parent child relationship. We will transfer these things to the left hand side. Okay. So what is the main purpose of this application module? As I told you, this is a container where you can test the view object query also at runtime. And if you see, let's go one by one. What is the entity object? Let's see first. Entity object has departments and employees. These are the two entity objects which we have created. I'll tell you what these things later on. First, let's go to the employee object of departments. So Here, as I told you, entity object has attributes. Attributes are nothing but the columns of the table. So you can see for department table, all the columns are created through as attributes of the entity objects. And I also told you there is a key attribute which is always marked for the entity object, and this is always the primary key of the table. As you can see, department ID is the primary key. So the key sign is there which indicates it is a key attribute. Let's see if any other, you can also change the key attribute as per your requirement. So there are business rules which are automatically created. Business rules means the constraints. You can create the constraint based on the requirements. The Java class is also there. You can create if it is required. These things we generally don't use in the entity object. Then we'll go to the read-only view object. Read-only view object, we can go to the updatable view object first. We created two updatable view objects on top of entity object. So the updatable view object is employees view and the departments view. Two views are automatically created. Let's see what are they. This is the view object. This is created on which entity object? That is also it is showing the departments view is created on department entity object, and the attributes are same as the entity object. It is carrying those attributes. This is the query which is used for this view object. So since we did not modify the query, it is the simple select the column names from the department. This is the Java class, and those things are not required. And then we'll discuss what are the other things which are created automatically. Then we have location view. So this is the read-only view object. We created it directly from the database table. So the entity object for this should be blank. As I told you, this is blank. Attributes will be the columns which are selected through the query. So this is the read-only view object. Now what is application module? Application module, as I told you, is the container which will run the query of the updatable view object. So let's test it out. How it is actually running. You can simply right click on application module and run. So it will start the server and run your view object query. So this is the page which will pop up. You can test the data here. So this is the departments view. This is the employee view. Let me close this. I think the parent-child relationship I have not selected correctly. Yeah, it's there. Let me again run it. So click on this link. As you can see, the department is shown as a master for, and the childs are shown as table. If you do next, the department ID is changing, and with respect to the department, the employees are also shown. Similarly, we can see the data. So this is how we can test our updatable view object query inside the application module. So now let's discuss what are these extra things which are created automatically. Inside this you can see the department manager foreign key association, the employee department foreign key association, and the employee manager foreign key associations are created. So these are the associations which are created based on the primary key foreign key relationship of the tables. So the department and employee table has a primary key foreign key relationship of department ID. So the department manager key employee department foreign key association is created. If you go inside that, you can also see the XML relationship, how it is. It is showing one to many relationship from department ID to departments dot department ID to employee dot department ID. Means this side department ID will be one and employee ID can be many from the employee table. So this is a one to many relationship which is defined between department ID of tables departments and employee ID. So similarly, the department manager foreign key association is created. This is the employees table employee ID and departments table manager ID. This is also a one to many relationship. The employee ID can be corresponds to multiple departments manager ID. These are the foreign keys which are created. On top of the foreign key, there are view links which should be created. These are the view links. So like this is the foreign key association. In employee object there is association and in view object there is view link. So on top of association view link is created. Like on top of entity object view object is created. On top of association view link is created. Employee department foreign key association, there should be employee department foreign key link. So this is the view link. If you see the relationship, it is the association which is shown. So on top of association link is created. You can create your own view link and associations also if there is no existing foreign key primary key foreign key relationship existing in the table. So how to create that? You can simply do model.io, right click, new association. Suppose I want to create an association between location ID and department ID. I think in department table there is a location ID column is there. So location table we can create. Let's see how we are creating. Let's give this link as association LOC location. Next, actually you need an entity object to create the association. So we have to first create an entity object first of that association, then we can create the link. So this thing you can try out. This is not a complex thing. So associations, and on top of view link you can create if there is no direct for primary key foreign key is defined on the database table. So we can manually create the association and top of that view link to establish the relationship between the tables to further draw the parent child relationship and master detail form kind of design in our application. So this thing is required for that purpose. So with this we can conclude this introduction section. I will tell you what all other things which we can cover in our coming classes. So next we will discuss about list of values and data bindings.